play a game.
Good, okay, because I need you calm. Okay, no matter what happens, you gotta stay calm.
I told you I don't follow these movies. I don't ask me about something I do know. Ask me about It Follows. Ask me about Hereditary. Ask me about The Witch.
What's going on, everybody? It is Friday night. You know what time it is. It's time for Why We Love Horror Trivia. We're going to be finishing up round 2 of the singles tournament tonight, the other parts of the bracket. We got our first match today, the number 10 seed, Kerri Webb, going up against number 15 seed, Lyndsey. And then later on, number 1 seed, Shannon Briggs, taking on the number 8 seed, Jeremy Adams. But let's get right down to it. I got 2 people backstage ready to play. After her round 1 match, very dominant showing. I'll bring in the number 15 seed first. Rose, you made quick work of Zach, I'd say, in that match. How are you feeling going into this match?
Pretty good. I feel pretty good.
That's good. You're sticking with your strategy of picking strengths, like actresses you really like, actresses you've met. You still feeling confident with that?
Yeah, so far that's worked, so try it again.
All right. Well, standing in your way this evening, no stranger to the Why We Love Horror Trivia stage, Kerri Webb. Kerri, how are you this evening? Your first round match also, I think technically, you upset JPO technically. A strong showing. How you feeling this evening?
Feeling okay. I don't know. I don't feel as well prepared as I wish I was, but I think it'll be fun either way.
Okay. Well, let's get right down to it. The format's changed slightly, but not so much that anybody's going to be uncomfortable. Round 1's the same. It's still the speed round. Prior to the match, Kerri gave me 4 categories and Rose gave me 4 categories, and I wrote 8 questions that would be worth 1 point apiece. So they'll number their boards 1 through 8 because I am going to ask the questions in semi-rapid succession. Questions will be read at an interval of 10 seconds apart. The round ends 10 seconds after the 8th question has been read. For the duration of the entire match, both players get 3 repeats in a challenge. In this round, they can utilize one of those repeats at the end as time is expiring to have me repeat as many questions as they need repeated, and then I'll give them 20 seconds to clean up their boards. If all 8 questions get answered correctly, there's a 9th bonus question. Any questions before we get started? All right, well, the first question comes in the category of directed by the Butcher Brothers. What year saw the release of the remake of April Fool's Day? Your second question, in the Halloween franchise, what does Barry Sims do for a living in Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers? Your third question, in movie starring Neve Campbell, how many of the people who die in Scream were students at Woodsboro High School? And I don't mean ever. I mean at the time of the movie, not counting graduates. All right. Your fourth question, the movies of Kate Siegel. Who plays Marie Russell, Kaylee and Tim's mom, in Oculus? On to the movies of Hannah Fireman. Who directed Siren? In Jordan Peele, what was the name of the TV show Jupe acted on when he was a child actor in Nope? In movies of Elijah Dushku, what body part of Evans does Francine see lying on the ground just before she is killed near the beginning of Wrong Turn? And your final question will be in scores. Who composed the score to the original Friday the 13th? And your chance to utilize a repeat will expire in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We'll go over to Kerri first. Kerri, what are your answers?
Okay. For 1, I had 2008. 2, I had Dr. 3, I had 5. 4, Katie Sackhoff. 5, Greg Johnson. I know that's not right. 6, Gordy's Home. 7, Ear. And 8, Harry Manfredini.
Okay, and Rose.
1, 2008. 2, store owner. I know that's not right. 3, 4, Katie Sackhoff. 5, Greg Bishop. 6, I didn't know. 7, Ear. And 8, I didn't know.
Okay, at the end of round 1, I have Kerri in the lead 6-4. We'll go over the answers. April Fool's Day, the remake is 2008. Kerri Sims is a radio talk show host or a radio DJ in person, Michael Myers. 5 students die in Scream, that being Casey and Steve, Stu, Billy, and Tatum are all students at Woodsboro High School. Marie Russell is Katie Sackhoff. Greg Bishop directed Siren. Gordy's Home, the name of the TV show on Nope. Francine sees Evan's ear lying on the ground, and Harry Manfredini did compose the score to Friday the 13th. Okay, that being said, we're going to go on to round number 2. It is the wheel round. All 8 of those categories are now on a wheel. We do not have spinners and opponent's choice anymore. It's just all 8 categories, and that's it. Player in the lead has the option to spin first or defer to their opponent. Both players get 1 turn spinning the wheel. When a player spins, they can take the slice they land on, or they can utilize 1 respin. If the respin's used, whatever you land on that second time, you have to take. Whatever you wind up with, you get 5 2-point questions in that category. However, if you don't know the answer right away, you can ask me for multiple choice, and I will give you multiple choice. The question then will be worth 1 point. However, if an incorrect answer is given at any time, your opponent can steal for the current point value of the question. All right. Kerri, I'll bring the wheel in and go over the categories one more time. We got directed by the Butcher Brothers, Halloween franchise, acted with Nev Campbell, acting with Kate Siegel, acting with Hannah Fireman, acted, produced, written, directed by Jordan Peele, acting with Eliza Dushku, and I should spell her name right. Let me fix that. And scores of horror movies. Would you like to spin first or defer?
I'll defer.
I'm going to just prime the wheel really quick while this spin will not count. And I'll bring the wheel back in. Okay. Rose, here's your first spin. You get directed by the Butcher Brothers. Do you want to keep that or spin again?
I'll keep it.
Okay. We will put the wheel backstage. And we'll bring in these Butcher Brothers questions. Your first question. What government office is Peter running for in 2008's April Fool's Day?
Senate.
That's correct. Your second question. Who plays Cody's ex-girlfriend, Michelle, in The Violent Kind?
Am I frozen?
No, you're good. I see you and hear you.
Okay. Multiple choice.
Is it A, Tiffany Shepis, B, Julie Strain, C, Taylor Cole, or D, Christina Persalis?
A, Tiffany Shepis.
That is correct for a point. Your third question. In The Thompsons, the Hamiltons have fled the United States after killing several people at what type of location?
It is a gas station. And inside, it is also like a diner and like.
You've said enough. There are gas pumps, but the people die in the diner, so I'll give that to you. I'm not going to be rude about it. That is correct. Your fourth question. Which sibling is holding the video camera in the final scene of The Hamiltons? Five, four.
Francis.
That is correct for 2 points. And your final question. What country serves as the setting for Black Sunset?
Mexico.
That is correct for 2 points for an almost complete sweep in the category. We'll put that backstage. We'll bring the wheel back. Kerri, you ready for your first spin?
Yeah.
And you land on Nev Campbell. Do you want to keep that or spin again?
I'll keep it.
All right. We'll just get rid of this wheel altogether then. We don't need that anymore. Here are your Nev Campbell questions. Your first question. Why is Derek tied up at the end of Scream 2?
As part of a fraternity hazing ritual.
That is, I had prank, but hazing rituals, the same thing. That is fine. 2 points. Your second question. Who does Jenny guess Ghostface is after she realizes there is not an app being used to create his voice in Scream 4?
Multiple choice.
All right. A, Charlie, B, Robbie, C, Trevor, or D, Marnie?
I should have just went with my gut. Trevor.
Trevor is correct for 1 point. Your third question. Who plays Laura Lizzie, the girl whose hair falls out in The Craft?
Oh man, what's her name? God, just give me multiple choice.
All right. A, Helen Shaver, B, Nicole Eggert, C, Elizabeth Berkley, or D, Christine Taylor?
Christine Taylor.
That is correct for 1 point. Your fourth question. In Scream, how long is the delay between live action and the feed shown in Gail's news van?
30 seconds.
That is correct. And your final question. In Scream 2022, Mindy tells what other character they are safe because their relative belongs to a shitty, inferior sequel?
Wes Hicks.
That is correct for 2 points. And we have a 1 point game going into the final round. Kerri has the lead 14-13. And there's how round 3 works. Round 3 is the slightly different synopsis round. Prior to the match, both players drafted 3 general movie categories. These 6 choices are going to be in a pool from which either player can select at any time. The player who is trailing will select first, choosing which of the categories they want for a 2-point synopsis question. At any point, the trailing player takes the lead. Control then switches to the other player, who will choose categories from the remaining categories until they take the lead. Play goes back and forth, everybody getting 2, 3, and 5 point questions. Play ends when either I've asked 6 questions or one player is mathematically unable to catch up. So, Rose, we'll start with you for your synopses. The categories you can choose from: the 2000s, the 2010s, the 2020s, found footage, psychological thrillers, or supernatural. What would you like your 2-pointer?
Psychological thriller.
All right, we're going to go to psychological thrillers first for 2. After kidnapping and assaulting 2 young women, a gang finds refuge at a home of the parents of one of the victims, who devise increasingly gruesome series of revenge tactics. Name that movie.
Last House on the Left.
That is the plot for either version of Last House on the Left. That is great. All right, Kerri, we're going to go over to you. Psychological thrillers is off the board, but you can pick your 2-pointer from 2000s, 2010s, 2020s, found footage, or supernatural. What would you like?
I'll go 2000s.
We're going to go to the 2000s for 2. Here we go. In 1945, immediately following World War II, a woman living with her 2 photosensitive children on her family estate in the Channel Islands becomes convinced their home is haunted. Name that movie.
The Others.
That is The Others. We're going to go back over to Rose. Now, Rose, you can choose your 3-pointer out of the 2010s, the 2020s, found footage, or supernatural. What would you like?
Can you repeat those again?
Sure. 2010s, 2020s, found footage, or supernatural.
The 2010s.
2010s for 3.
2010s.
Yep, 2010s. 6 years after Earth has suffered an alien invasion, a cynical journalist agrees to escort a shaken American tourist through an infected zone in Mexico to the safety of the U.S. border. Name that movie.
Borderland.
That is incorrect. That is 2010's Monsters. Monsters. So we will stay with you. You could choose your 5-pointer out of the 2020s, found footage, or supernatural.
Found footage.
Found footage for 5. Here we go. Realizing that the urban legend of their youth has come true, 2 filmmakers delve into the mystery surrounding 5 missing kids and the real-life boogeyman linked to their disappearances. Name that movie. You do have 3 repeats still. 5, 4, 3.
Repeat.
There's your first repeat.
Repeat.
Yep. Realizing that the urban legend of their youth has come true, 2 filmmakers delve into the mystery surrounding 5 missing kids and the real-life boogeyman linked to their disappearances. Name that movie.
Cropsy.
That is Cropsy. That is correct. All right. 4-5. All right, Kerri, we're back over to you. You are still at your 3. You can choose your 3-pointer between 2020s or Supernatural. What would you like?
Supernatural.
Supernatural. 4-3. A young solicitor travels to a remote village where he discovers that the vengeful ghost of a scorned lady is terrorizing the locals. Name that movie.
I don't think this is right, but I'm gonna say The Woman in Black.
That's what they call lawyers in Great Britain. Solicitors.
Okay.
Woman in Black is correct. Right, you're still down 1 point, so you do have to hit your 5 to win the match, and it will be in the 2020s. Here we go. A gay bachelor party turns spooky when sinister spirits are conjured up during a seance. Name that movie. And you still have all your repeats as well. 5, 4, 3.
Repeat.
That's your first repeat. A gay bachelor party turns spooky when sinister spirits are conjured up during a seance. Name that movie.
I don't know it.
No guess?
Nope.
And your winner, moving on to the semifinals, Rose Lyndsey. That movie is called Summoning Sylvia. Summoning Sylvia. I'd recommend it. I think I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd. That being said, we're going to go to some post-match interviews. We'll drop Rose back briefly. Kerri, before the match, you said you didn't feel as prepared. Do you feel you jinxed yourself going into the match?
No, I just wished I had just outright guessed Trevor because I knew it in that Scream question, and I knew it, and it would have been tied if I had done that. But it is what it is. I made my choice.
Well, we'll be doing, once we get through this all this single stuff, we'll be doing teams. We're going to see you and Chad back before you know it. So
yeah.
Anybody you're looking to play that you see playing in this new iteration that you haven't played yet?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't know if I played Hunter like one-on-one. I think I've only played him in teams. So it'd be fun to play Hunter, but down to play whoever.
All right. Sounds good, Kerri. We'll see you soon. Have a good rest of your day. We'll bring in today's winner. Rose, you were initially not even in the tournament. Like, you were in the play-in match. You fell short. Things got shuffled up, and now here you are just getting to the semifinals. How are you feeling?
Surprised, honestly. Kerri made me fight for that. That was a great game.
Do you feel like this strategy of picking I don't want to say they're obscure, I guess. They're not bad movies by any stretch of the imagination. I love the Hamiltons, but they're not movies anybody talks about.
Some of them are like Soul Survivors is a bad movie. I think we can unanimously agree on that.
Okay, I wasn't going to go there, but I was saying like more like the. I think people know who Eliza Dushku is. I don't think many people know who Hannah Fireman is outside of, it's the girl from VHS. But like these are movies I think. Do you feel that this could be your path all the way to the end?
Well, strangely, those are the kind of movies I watch. I don't tend to watch like Friday the 13th and that kind of thing. I tend to watch like the indie movies, like Hannah Fireman movies that people have not seen. And so, yeah, I think maybe this could be my path.
All right. Well, you are in the semifinals, and let me tell you who you're facing. Get your thoughts on it. Give me 1 second while I pull that up. You're going to be facing Eric Moreno in the semifinals. Any thoughts on that?
I don't know who that is, so no, but I'm sure he's amazing. So
he also was a lower seed person, causing upsets left and right. So we will. So it'll be interesting to watch for sure. So we will see you back before you know it, facing Eric. Best luck to you in that match, Rose. I'll talk to you then. Hey, there's another match coming up after this. It's Shannon Briggs versus Jeremy Adams, a battle of the people that love classic movies right after this intermission.
Hello, and thank you for your business. Why not stop by our refreshment stand? We have all kinds of special treats, but don't take my word for it. Take it away, fellas!
Come on, take a stroll to the snack bar, have a time. Come on, take a stroll to the snack bar, have a good time. Popcorn for all, hell's on its way. Come on, take a stroll to the snack bar, have a good time.
2 minutes till showtime. There's still plenty of time to visit the refreshment stand.
Come on, take a stroll to the snack bar, have a good time.
Welcome back from intermission. This is the second half of the show. This is your main event of the evening. This is a matchup that I think a lot of people who watch the channel wanted to happen. I was talking to one of the guys before the match, and I was like, you two dudes are the ones that nobody wants to play because they are lazy and they don't want to watch old movies. They're just like young whippersnappers and they just hate it. So here you go, everybody. These guys are going to play each other. So that way you only have to face one of them down the road. But Well, who are we talking about? Well, let's bring in one of them first. A known fan of the classics, a known expert of the classics, the Jeremy Adams. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing great. Yeah, this is a fun matchup. Yeah, definitely some different categories in the match tonight. I don't know how much that's going to help me, but I'm hoping it'll be better than having some of those 2020s movies that I've been struggling with lately. So I'm excited.
This is definitely a match where you do not have to have gone to the theater in the last few years. It is all stuff that you know and love. But without further ado, Jeremy, you were the number 8 seed in the tournament, so you won the match like we expected to against the number 9 seed, the other Jeremy, so only one Jeremy remains. But the man you were facing is the number 1 seed, the cemetery man, Shannon Briggs. Shannon, how you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing very well.
So, yeah, it's pretty much the same exact question. Obviously, when you guys were drafting, a lot of respect back and forth here. I appreciate it. Have you guys playing a nice match. But, like, is this like a relief to you that, like, it's like familiar? It's like, is it like comforting and familiar to be doing these more like a more classic skewed match?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's always like, yeah, interesting to do something that, yeah, that doesn't always like lean always to something that's only like, yeah, that stuff that's like, yeah, like that's like movies. That's almost I mean, like, so the like, movies in you could argue that was in the golden age of the horror and other things. So yeah, it's always good to kind of do something that's kind of like out of the ordinary. That I've seen a lot of the matches kind of been the strings kind of go to or whatever. So, but yeah, like I decided to like, yeah, some of my strengths I picked. I kind of think I threw a little bit of a curveball. This is something a little bit more interesting than I haven't seen like being played at any of these games. So it'll be interesting. I've seen Jeremy in action, and I have full respect. So I can't wait to try to start this game.
I'm excited for this match as well. You guys definitely are. I feel like I'm on the opposite of the spectrum from you guys. I am a like hardcore, ridiculous foreign modern movie addict, and you guys are just respecting the classics. So with that being said, we're gonna get together with this classic skewed match. Round 1 is always the way it is. Round 1. It's the speed round. Before the match, we had a draft. Jeremy drafted 4 categories and Shannon drafted 4 categories. So I wrote 8 questions. They're going to number their whiteboards 1 through 8 because we're asking these questions in semi-rapid fire fashion. The questions will be read at intervals of 10 seconds apiece. The round ends 10 seconds after the 8th question has been read. For the duration of the match, both players have 3 repeats of the challenge to use their discretion. In round 1, if you want to use a repeat, you can use it as time is running out. Just fire off one of your repeats. I'll repeat any questions you want, as many as you want. And then once we finish that up, you have 20 seconds to clean up your boards. And that'll be that. Any questions before we get started with these round 1 questions?
No,
all right,
I'm good.
Your first question comes in directed by Stuart Gordon. What specific item of Judy's does Rosemary throw away at the beginning of Dolls? Your second question is in Hammer Horror. The second film under the current revival of the Hammer brand was what 2010 remake of a foreign film? Your third question in one of those curveball categories Shannon was talking about. Movies nominated for Golden Raspberry Awards. Who plays Dr. Moreau's daughter, Aisa, who is part cat in The Island of Dr. Moreau? Moving on to movies Steven Spielberg produced. What New England state serves as the setting for Casper? Narrowed it down for you. Your fifth question is in Boris Karloff films. In Abbott and Costello Meet the Killer Boris Karloff, what job does Freddy, Lou Costello's character, have at the hotel? This is the first time I've asked a question like this. In movie release dates, true or false, the only Dracula movie with a year in its title that didn't come out in the year that's in the title is Dracula 3000. Moving on to directors. Who directed and starred in Frailty? And your final question will be in the Exorcist franchise. What member of Father Karras' family passes away toward the beginning of The Exorcist? And your chance to use a repeat will expire in 5.
Please repeat 4, please.
Okay, we'll use one of your repeats and we'll go to question number 4. What New England state serves as the setting for Casper? And you have 20 seconds from here. 10 seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We'll go to Shannon first. What are your answers?
For the first one, I said teddy bear. For the second one, I said let me in. Number 3 is the lovely Fairuza Balk. Number 4, I said Maine. Number 5, I said bellhop. Number 6, I went with Foss. I was thinking Dracula 2000 maybe came out in 1999. 7, I went with the late great Bill Paxton. And number 8, I went with Mother.
And Jeremy, your answers.
I said toy car, let me in, Fairuza Balk, Maine. I said bellboy, false, Bill Paxton, and Mother.
At the end of round number 1, I have Shannon with a slight lead, 7-6. Here are your answers. Judy throws away Rosemary's teddy bear. Teddy the teddy bear gets thrown away in the Meeting of Dolls. The second film under Hammer Horror is Let Me In. Aisa is played by Fairuza Balk. Casper takes place in Maine. Lou Costello is the bellhop, correct? True or false? That's true. The only other movie, like Dracula 1972, Dracula 1972 AD came out in 1972. Dracula 2000 came out in 2000. Dracula 3000 did not come out in the year 3000.
I misunderstood the question.
Yeah, those other 2 movies definitely came out in the years that are in their titles. Frailty, directed by Bill Paxton, and Father Karras' mother passes away in The Exorcist. So an excellent round 1, just what we expected. A high-scoring round 1. Moving on to round number 2. Round number 2 is our wheel round. All 8 categories from round 1 are now on a wheel. The player in the lead has the option to spin first or defer to their opponent. Both players will get 1 turn spinning the wheel. Big change from round number 1. There is no longer spinner's or opponent's choice on this wheel. When a player spins, they may take the slice they landed on, or they can utilize their 1 respin. If the respin's used, the slice they land on the second spin has to be taken. Whatever they land on, the contestant will receive 5 2-point questions in that category. They can opt to hear multiple choice options. That makes the question worth 1 point, but be careful. If you get an answer wrong, your opponent can steal for the current point value of the question. Here is the wheel. Shannon, you have the option. The categories on the wheel today. We still have Stuart Gordon directed, Hammer Horror, Razzie-nominated horror, Steven Spielberg produced, Boris Karloff acted, movie release dates, directors, and The Exorcist. Would you like to spin first or defer to Jeremy?
I think I will defer to Jeremy.
All right, Jeremy, here's your first spin. You get Hammer. Do you want to keep that or spin again?
I'm going to try it. I'm going to keep it.
We are keeping Hammer Horror. Okay, so here are your questions in Hammer Horror. Are you ready? All right, your first question. How many Hammer Dracula films were directed by Terence Fisher?
3.
3? That is correct. Your second question. The stake Van Helsing uses to kill Dracula at the start of Dracula AD 1972 was originally part of what larger wooden item?
A wagon wheel.
That is correct. Your third question. Who plays the daughter in question in To the Devil, a Daughter?
On her name.
5, 4, 3, 2. That is your first repeat. Who plays the daughter in question in To the Devil, a Daughter?
Natasha Kinski.
That is correct for 2 points. Your fourth question. What country does the space mission leave Earth from in the Quartermass experiment? I didn't hear you.
England?
That is incorrect. Chance for a 2-point steal, Shannon. What country does the space mission leave Earth from in the Quartermass experiment?
I will say France.
Also incorrect. Leaves Earth from Australia. Australia is where that takes off from. And your final question in Hammer. What type of animal resurrects Dracula in Scars of Dracula?
Still multiple choice on that.
All right. A bat. B, a wolf. C, a rat. Or D, a crow?
Rat?
Did you say bat?
I said rat. C.
Oh, rat. Okay. That is incorrect. Chance for a 1-point steal. Is it A, bat, B, wolf, C, rat, or D, crow?
I'll go with B, wolf.
Also incorrect. It is the obvious answer. It's a bat. A bat resurrects Dracula in Scars of Dracula. All right. That being said, Jeremy getting a score up to 12. We're going to bring the wheel back for Shannon. And here is your first spin. You get Steven Spielberg produced. Do you want to keep that or spin again?
I will spin again.
All right. It lands on Razzie-nominated horror, which you will have to take. So let's bring up those Razzie-nominated horror questions. Are you ready?
Yes.
Who plays Carly Jones, the final girl in 2005's House of Wax?
Alicia Cuthbert.
That is correct for 2 points. Your second question. What branch of the U.S. military do Nick and Chris work for in 2017's The Mummy?
Multiple choice.
A, the Army, B, the Navy, C, the Air Force, or D, the Marines?
D, Marines.
That is incorrect. Chance for a 1-point steal, Jeremy. Is it A, the Army, B, the Navy, C, the Air Force, or D, the Marines?
Air Force?
Did you say the Air Force?
Air Force, yeah.
All right, that is also incorrect. It is the Army. They work for the Army. Your third question, Shannon. In the opening scene to Anaconda, a poacher kills himself how, rather than being eaten alive by the snake?
Multiple choice.
A, takes a poison pill, B, hangs himself, C, jumps off a cliff, or D, shoots himself?
I will say hangs himself.
That is incorrect. Chance for a 1-point steal, Jeremy. Is it A, takes a poison pill, B, hangs himself, C, jumps off a cliff, or D, shoots himself?
C, jumps off a cliff.
No, he shoots himself in the head. He shoots himself right in the head instead of, I guess, whatever. Your fourth question. Besides Daniel Myrick, who else directed the Blair Witch Project?
Make sure I put Eduardo Sanchez.
I will accept that answer.
Sorry, my tongue. I know. Yeah.
The second you started saying it, I was like, he's got it. All right. And your final question. In what decade is the opening scene of Friday the 13th set?
$1950.
That is correct. With that being said, end of round number 2, exactly the same deficit. Shannon is up 13-12. Very tight game going into round number 3. Round number 3 is everyone's favorite round. It's the synopses round. Prior to the match, both players drafted 3 general movie categories. These 6 choices are in a pool from which either player can select at any time. The player who's trailing will select first, choosing which of the 6 categories they want for a 2-point synopsis question. If at any point the trailing player takes the lead, control switches to the other player, who will choose categories until they take the lead. And this goes back and forth. Players will progress through 2, 3, and 5-point questions. Play ends when either I've asked all questions or when one player is mathematically unable to catch up. All right, that being said, Jeremy, you are behind. So you get to choose out of these 6 categories we have here. Categories you guys chose: the 1970s, the 1980s, the 1990s, literary adaptations, psychological thrillers, and vampires and werewolves. What would you like your 2-point category in? And reminder, once you choose the category, it cannot be rechosen at a different point value.
Let's try psychological thrillers.
Psychological thrillers for 2. A true crime writer finds a box of home movies in his new home, revealing that the case he's researching could be the work of a serial killer whose legacy dates back to the 1960s. Name that movie.
Sinister.
That is Sinister. And psychological thriller is off the table. Shannon, we're going to go to you for your 2-point question. You can choose from 70s, 80s, 90s, literary adaptations, or vampires and werewolves. Where do you want to go for your 2?
I will go with literary adaptations.
All right. Literary adaptations for 2. After tragedy strikes, a grieving father discovers an ancient burial ground behind his home with the power to raise the dead. Name that movie.
That would be Pet Cemetery.
That is correct for 2 points. Going to go back over to Jeremy. Jeremy, you can choose from the remaining 4 categories: 70s, 80s, 90s, and vampires and werewolves. Where would you like your 3 from?
Let's try 90s.
The 90s. Your 3-pointer in the 90s. A homicide detective and an anthropologist try to destroy a South American lizard-like god who's on a people-eating rampage in a Chicago museum. Name that movie.
The Relic.
That is The Relic. That is correct. All right. Shannon, back to you. You got vampires and werewolves. We got the 70s and the 80s. Where do you want to go for 3?
I will go with the 70s.
The 70s for 3. Here we go. Henry Spencer tries to survive his industrial environment, his angry girlfriend, and the unbearable screams of his newly born mutant child. Name that movie.
It's Alive.
That is incorrect. That is Eraserhead. Eraserhead.
Oh.
So here's where we stand. You get to choose again, Shannon, between the 80s and vampires and werewolves for 5 points. Which one would you like?
I will go with vampires and werewolves.
Vampires and werewolves for 5. Here we go. A young woman goes searching for her missing artist father. Her journey takes her to a strange Californian seaside town governed by a mysterious undead cult. Name that movie. Five, 4, 3.
Messiah of Evil.
For 5 points, that is correct. Messiah of Evil. All right. Jeremy, he left you with the 80s, which I know you like anyway, so that worked out for you. Probably what you would have chosen anyway. So we are
I'm going to get it.
we are at the 1980s for 5. Are you ready? A former circus artist escapes from an asylum to rejoin his armless mother, the leader of a religious cult, and is forced to enact brutal murders in her name as he becomes her arms. Name that movie. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's your second repeat. A former circus artist escapes from an asylum to rejoin his armless mother, the leader of a religious cult, and is forced to enact brutal murders in her name as he becomes her arms. Name that movie.
Good game, Shannon. I'll say that's the case too. I don't know.
And your winner, Shannon Briggs. That is the Mexican movie Santa Sangre. Santa Sangre. In Letterboxd's top 250. Just everybody knows it's popular film. That being said, we'll go to post-match interviews. Drop Shannon back quickly. Jeremy, I don't think we could ask for a better match between you guys. Came down to the wire. He even missed his 3-pointer and bounced back, hit his 5. You hit your 2 and your 3, and then the 5 just kind of escaped you. How are you feeling?
Oh, it was a much better match than I was expecting, honestly. Like, I didn't expect it to go that far. There was actually a moment where I thought maybe I was going to win against the first seed player, which is crazy. So I'm really happy. It was an awesome match. But I feel good. And now I don't have to face the next player, which is, I happen to know who that's going to be, and that would be stressful. So instead, I have something in my back pocket from a certain free-for-all instead that I can kind of rely on.
Yeah, that was right. You are the MVP from the free-for-all. So as I said, you do have the option to ambush any title match. So I will be letting you know when you have those chances. So we may be seeing you when we least expect you.
Awesome.
All right, Jeremy, thanks for playing, and I'm sure we're going to see you when we least expect you, definitely. And we'll bring in today's winner, the Cemetery Man, Shannon Briggs. Shannon, you pulled it out, hitting Messiah Evil for 5, crazy pull. You are going to go on to the semifinals. You'll face the 5 seed, Abby Brooks. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling very surprised that I'm in this spot, because I thought when I missed that Eraserhead, I thought Jeremy had it. He had it and stuff. And I mean, luckily I was able to get Messiah Evil. I kind of had to think the kind of that, but I figured Messiah Evil would be a very good 5-point kind of pull as far as horror movies go. Like, I mean, it's a movie that people definitely need to check out, but a lot of people haven't. But yeah, Jeremy, he definitely brought it. I definitely was expecting this game to be very close, and it was. As far as Abby, I'm just in this whole tournament, I know everybody that's made this tournament knows their stuff to some degree, and I'm not taking anybody lightly, obviously, and I know no matter what, it should be a good game.
Okay, well, we'll drop you back. We'll put a bow on it. We're going to see you back as soon as possible for the semifinal match. If you made it this far in the video, like, comment, subscribe, share, go to the Facebook Why We Love Horror, go to WWL Horror on TikTok, and you're at WWL Horror on YouTube. So you should have subscribed already. Remember the schedule: Monday versus Wednesday, special editions of this show and Why We Love Horror. Thursday is Why We Love Horror, and then I usually go live on TikTok later in the day, either with Hunter or not Hunter. We'll see. He'll be back eventually. And every Friday, you're watching it. 2 episodes of Why We Love Horror trivia. Like I said, every time, we appreciate you watching, and we absolutely appreciate your patronage. See you next week.
Game over.
I'll fucking kill you!